Ted Cancun Cruz, the sniveling senator from the Lone Star State, just got done getting his butt whooped Texas style from Democratic candidate Colin Allred. In a televised debate, Cruz showed once again that he is nothing but catchphrases and con jobs, sound bites and showboating, and Allred made him pay. A former NFL linebacker and Baylor University football star, Allred blitzed the hapless Cruz on every soundbite the conservative huckster tried to throw to the audience. If you've ever seen the movie Rudy, that's what tonight's debate looked like. Cruz getting pounded into the ground, round by round, play by play. I'm going to show the clip that probably ended Cruz's career. We can all hope. But first, take a look at what Allred had to say about controlling healthcare costs.
We thought it was a good idea to cap the cost of insulin for folks on Medicare at $35 a month. I voted for it. Senator Cruz apparently disagreed. We tried to cap it for everyone because 1 in 4 Americans are rationing their insulin. You know what rationing your insulin means? It means you're not taking the medication you need to survive. And so we said, let's make sure that this is affordable. I was willing to do it and voted for it. Senator Cruz voted against it. And it's not surprising. He's also one of the biggest recipients of campaign donations from big pharma lobbyists in the entire United States Senate. It's true. But this is a pattern. This is somebody who goes to the Ritz-Carlton in Cancun. Do you really think he cares about inflation and about working families? When his entire career, he spent his time trying to cut taxes for the rich and not looking out for working folks. When I'm in the Senate, we'll have somebody who will try to represent all 30 million of us and make sure we keep a focus on lowering your costs everywhere we can.
Clear, concise, and absolutely cutting. Allred commanded the debate stage, while Cruz just tried to keep laughing off the fact that he was getting his ass kicked all night long. And it's not surprising to anyone who knows Allred. Unlike some former athletes, like Steve Garvey out in California, Allred is not a jock trying to trade their celebrity for a career in politics. Former athletes like Garvey are neither bright nor qualified. They just want what celebrity can bestow on them. This is definitely not the case with Allred. He was first team All-Academic while at Baylor and graduated with his degree in history. He was headed off to law school, but was recruited into the NFL even though he didn't get drafted. His 5-year career in professional sports ended early due to injury, but once out of the league, he attended law school. So no one can accuse Allred of being a dumb athlete. And in fact, what he showed tonight is that he's smarter than the Harvard-educated Cruz, whose only professional accomplishment to this point is his ability to successfully wear a possum on his face. For all his time in the Senate, Cruz has no legislative accomplishments, not one. Except perhaps for voting against everything and anything that was designed to help working and middle-class families. Cruz looked like that annoying kid on the playground who keeps getting knocked over, but keeps laughing to pretend it's not happening. As devastating as this description of Ted Cruz is, it's not in the same league as this career-ending comment, where he totally slams Cruz into the turf.
I have to say, you can't be for the mob on January 6th and for the officers. You can't. And it's not funny because you're a threat to democracy.
Sure.
I was on the House floor when we went through the votes. I remember when you objected to the results in Arizona. Y'all at home might remember where you were on January 6th, what you were doing. I know where I was and I know where he was. I remember when they told us to reach under our seats for these gas masks. I didn't know we had because they had deployed tear gas in the rotunda. The officers locked all the doors. We barred the doors the president walks through to deliver the State of the Union with furniture that we usually use to hold paper. And I texted my wife, Allie, who was 7 months pregnant with our son, Cameron, and at home with our son, Jordan, who wasn't yet 2. Whatever happens, I love you. And I took off my suit jacket, and I was prepared to defend the House floor from the mob. At the same time, after he'd gone around the country lying about the election, after he'd been the architect of the attempt to overthrow that election, when that mob came, Senator Cruz was hiding in a supply closet. And that's okay. I don't want him to get hurt by the mob. I really don't. This election is his accountability. You cannot just be patriotic when your side wins. If for the first time in 250 years, this project of ours, this shared American project, that we did not have a peaceful transfer of power, the folks responsible have to be held accountable. That's why Liz Cheney has endorsed me, has got involved in this campaign, and is saying to Texans everywhere, Do not put Ted Cruz back in a position of authority, because he's done it once, he'll do it again.
You have to love Allred's subtlety here. In a state full of manly men who equate conservative politics with being a real man, Allred just exposed Cruz as nothing less than a wimp. Allred acted like a hero on January 6th, preparing to put his body on the line to protect his colleagues, knowing that he could wreak havoc on most, if not all, of the wannabe militiamen that were trying to hunt and harm people like Nancy Pelosi. The former linebacker was willing to toss them into the gallery. Meanwhile, Ted was hiding in the closet. So, okay, cowboys, now who's the manly man? It certainly isn't Ted Cruz. The irony that these guys think they vote their masculinity is not lost on anyone after tonight's debate. Colin Allred took a wrecking ball to that illusion. And speaking of illusions, Texas has been a supposedly solid red state for decades now, but the fact is every Texas election could have been won by Democrats if they had achieved greater voter turnout. After tonight, it's a distinct possibility that Colin Allred turns Texas blue. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.